Welcome to episode 870 of Hard Factor. It is Wednesday, February 3rd, February 2nd, Groundhog's Day, 2022.
Hold,
I don't know why I wrote the 3rd there.
Slow down there.
Yeah,
2-2-2-2.
Hold your horses.
2-2-2-2.
I think I yelled too loud. I almost passed myself out.
Oh, that was jarring. Yeah, it was
It was
good.
crazy. Head rush, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you for cheating on the news with us. We got a full house of hosts today. Mark, Pat, Wes, and I'm Will. On this Groundhog's Day, episode 870. You guys shotgun guys, you know? 870, Remington 870.
What's that?
That's like the like iconic pump shotgun. It's like the
You know that
Yep.
we're not shotgun guys. Why are you asking us that?
I'm just
Yep.
saying.
870.
870,
To
bro.
emasculate us.
I mean, I know Mark's got an 870, but Wes and I, why are you asking?
You know,
Just to emasculate us.
You know, it's 870. It's classic.
You know.
you guys know how to skin a
Oh,
deer.
that's the pump action. Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
870 tattoo.
No 870 shooters. Okay.
Why don't you ask us about cars next?
I mean, it's a cool gun.
Yeah, it's classic. Remington.
We talk
pump
about my
action.
low T again.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today? Wes is on the cup of coffee. What we got, Wes?
Yeah, we got a few things. We're gonna talk about Brady. We're gonna talk about Cruz. We're gonna talk about prisons, and we're gonna talk about Golden Corral.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Mark, what's in that international moment?
Yeah, I got an animal story, and then it's okay. Then I have a first ever, which is not good, on something related to a subject we've been talking about probably more than any other subject in the past 4 months. First ever bad thing happened in the Metaverse.
I can't be the first ever bad thing.
First of this kind.
Okay.
First of this kind, and it's a bad one.
I don't believe it.
We'll get to it. I have a dark. I'm going to give you guys the choice of going darkest story to lightest, or vice versa in terms of like how intense they're.
All right.
I like
An
choose your own
international moment,
adventure.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing up the rear, the caboose, if you will. Bat and cleanup down there.
Just
in the
like you like it.
in the 4 spot.
From behind.
And
Scoot down a bit, girl.
Through the back door.
I like to see everyone in front of me. Like to see the back of their
I'm gonna
heads.
pinch you.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there hasn't been any action from my mouth in the past 10 seconds. Can't breathe.
Really having a problem. I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna have to say it unless you just scooch up an inch there. No, I got a man, like one of the most insane crime stories that I've ever heard of. So the sentencing on this story took place this week. The crime occurred before we started Hard Factor, which is why we haven't covered it before. So it's a perfect opportunity to revisit. It's pretty
Nice.
I
it's pretty
love
nuts.
crime
It's got a lot of
stories.
twists,
Yes.
turns. I wrote it as if it was an episode of Dateline.
Perfect.
Nice.
Love Dateline. Love 2020. Their crime stuff. Yeah.
Excited
I
to
mean,
hear that.
It's Dateline then 2020. Keith Morrison
Yeah.
over everything, but yeah.
Yeah.
Since today is February 2nd, Groundhog's Day, I've got some additional details about Groundhog's Day. I'm sure Wes
You
has some cup of
pluralized that,
coffee,
huh?
but got some.
You like to pluralize ground.
I have no idea, Wes. Is it Groundhog or Groundhog? You tell me.
I think it's Groundhog Day.
Well,
you
Will,
take it away.
aren't there several groundhogs
Well,
in your story?
Talk about choose your own adventure. We'll get into it.
Okay.
You'll see.
Okay. Well, you guys want to get into it then?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, cup of coffee in the big time.
Trending news, fun facts, holidays, all the good stuff. Fun facts, 2222. After sightseers celebrated Punxsutawney Phil's weather prediction in 1887, they all headed over to Gobbler's Knob to dine on a feast made of various groundhog dishes and the equally delicious sounding groundhog punch. So they used to eat the bastard.
What's in a groundhog punch?
Groundhog punch, if you really want to go hard today, is vodka, milk, and orange juice, which they used to pour down the groundhog's throat after hunting it, and it was said to add 7 years to Phil's life. I guess that's, this is after they
But
stopped
they killed
eating.
them, right?
This is after they stopped. This is after they stopped killing.
They got him drunk after they stopped eating them.
They added, so they only lived for like 3 years normally. So he lived to 10.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually it's one of the menu hacks that's off menu that McDonald's suggests that you make for their breakfast.
It's Groundhog Punch.
Vodka, orange juice, and milk.
They slip you an airplane bottle, you assemble yourself.
You got to put it together yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Does the vodka stop it from curdling? Is that how that works?
Nope.
No, I think it makes it curdle.
No,
Extra?
the milk.
It
and
makes it
orange
curdle
juice.
faster.
So
Yeah,
vodka and
lactose
orange
in
juice
the
certainly
Yeah.
don't get along. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Wes,
Can't
if
emulsify that one.
if
Huh?
we do want to go to McDonald's and enter
Mhm.
to win $75 worth of Hard Factory gear if we're a
Mhm.
listener in the Heart Ohio, how do we do that?
Well, first, you have to follow us on Twitter or Instagram. You can enter on both platforms. Then you take a picture of your beautiful hack lunch that you are enjoying from McDonald's. Then you at Hard Factor News, you at McDonald's, and you hashtag Hard Factor Sent Me. And the Hard Factor Sent Me is very important because that's what I'm going to be searching for
This is Wes's
When I-
criteria.
when I look for the people that have submitted, and then I will gather them. And then on the February 11th show, we will be spinning the wheel. So the contest ends. The last day to submit a photo is February 9th. And on the February 11th show, we will be spinning a wheel of names to determine.
Sounds
the
like
winner.
he's got it. The name wheel is going to be intense because there was already like a dozen submissions day one.
Oh yeah, I checked it today, and you can put as many submissions as you want on that
Oh,
thing.
and people are enjoying these submissions. And by the way,
Yeah.
I want to say it on air, so I forced myself to clip it down. I have a crunchy double review I did on the first
Oh,
day. I just
fantastic.
haven't got a chance to put it together yet. But
Spoiler
Alright.
alert, it's pretty good, right? It's gotta
menu
be.
hack, dude, the menu hacks are awesome, as expected, enjoyable.
Yeah,
Now
we're-
I see some people online on Twitter, especially as they like to do, hating on land, air, and sea.
Well,
Okay, I didn't
might
try
be
the
a
land,
little-
air, and sea.
Might be a
I
little too big of a sandwich.
I did talk a lot of shit. Like I was gonna try the land, air, and sea, and when push came to shove, when I was in the line, I was like, nope, not gonna get the land, air, and sea. So I got the crunchy double, and it the review is coming.
The land, air, and sea is about a $10 sandwich that you have to assemble and then try
Did
to
you
fit
get
in
it?
your mouth.
Did you
Crunchy
get a
doubles
discount?
$5.99. Crunchy
Okay.
doubles $5.99. So I have no idea if that's a discount or not. But
Okay.
six
we're
piece
of course
nuggets,
talking about McDonald's new menu,
Yes.
menu hacks.
Menu hacks. Yeah.
menu hacks.
I'll get the graphic up for tomorrow's show.
Hacks. What's the
Um,
hack sound effect? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Circuit
We'll
board
work on that.
frying.
Yeah.
It could be like a bad comedian joke. You get like someone
Yeah.
telling a stale joke.
Play the dice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holidays. February 2nd is, of course, Groundhog Day. It is also Heavenly Hash Day, National Tater Tot Day, National Girls and Women in Sports Day. And then we got some more because there are a ton of them. It's also Ayn Rand Day, Bonza Bottler Day, California Kiwi Fruit Day, Candlemas, which is a Candlemas, which is a holiday back in the day. They used to hand out candles, around
Like a shitty
around-
Christmas.
Yeah, for light. Crepe Day, Global School Play Day, lots of stuff. But it is
Groundhog
Day.
job. What's that? Like Groundhog job? Something
Groundhog
like?
season, Groundhog Job Shadow Day.
Job shadow day.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. So yeah, but lots of potatoes in there. Kind of crazy. On this day in history, February 2nd, 1876, the National League of Professional Baseball Clubs, which is known as the National League, is formed. The American League was formed in 1901, and in 1903, the first World Series was held. So for all you baseball fans out there, there you go. First Groundhog Day, 1887. His official name is Punxsutawney Phil, seer of seers, sage of sages, prognosticator of prognosticators, and weather prophet extraordinary. That's his official title. So if he sees his shadow, he gets scared. He runs back in his hole to hibernate more. And that means 6 more weeks of winter. So we had it backwards on yesterday's show, I think. Sees shadow, more winter, no shadow, early spring.
Okay.
By the way, Phil is full of shit and actually a horrible predictor.
So bad.
The National Climate Data Center compared U.S. national temperatures from 1988 to 2012 to determine the accuracy of his predictions, and he's 39% correct. So he's terrible.
I wonder
He's
why they
awful.
killed that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awful.
It was a joke, Mark. I think it was they all just laughed about how they didn't give a fuck about what the groundhog said, and then they ate a ton of groundhogs.
Yeah. When did they stop eating the groundhogs? Is when I would have known.
I think before 1900. I'm not sure. And those
They should
Pennsylvania
It
people.
sounds like they should continue to do it. That's what I'm saying.
Those Pennsylvania folk. They
And Wes,
Yeah.
39%
39%.
accurate is friendly. I saw another stat saying 35. I saw
Well,
some people shit talking Phil saying he's even lower than 39. So
Well,
whoa.
it's tough. Not great.
Bad. Phil is not a great predictor.
Yeah, but he did give us one of the best movies of all time, Groundhog Day with Bill Murray.
I mean,
so
It's not his fault they were just like, hey, you, Groundhog,
Mhm.
tell us the weather. It's not his fault he's bad.
How
at it.
many Phils have there been? Because they die quickly.
lots.
Yeah.
Well, there was one a year until they stopped eating.
Mhm.
At least it's like 100 a year when they're having the feast.
Yeah.
I've actually had groundhog
is it good?
marsala in West Virginia. Yeah, it was not bad.
Tastes like squirrel. Or gopher?
I don't know. I think it's like kind of more like a pork thing. Like
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
I had it as a marsala, so I mean, it was good. Anyway, 1968, this iconic photo was taken. Remember this? As the Viet Cong overran Saigon in the first hours of the Tet Offensive, a fighter named Nguyen Van Lem was part of a death squad that targeted the national police and their families. So according to the South Vietnamese military, Lem squad killed 34 people associated with the police. At least 24 of them were civilians. By the way, I'm showing the picture of the guy getting his head blown off in Vietnam.
It's photo.
So they brought this guy in to Brigadier General Nguyen Ngoc Loan, and then the photographer was there. They thought they were just going to question him, and the photographer said, quote, "I prepared to make that picture the threat, the interrogation, but it didn't happen. The man just pulled a pistol out of his holster, raised it to the VC's head, and shot him in the temple." So that was taken on this day. Crazy picture. All right. Yeah. How do you guys like that?
Back
Talk
to
about-
groundhogs.
Talk about waking you up,
That's bad weatherman.
That's a cup of coffee. That'll
Ooh.
get the
Stop.
eyes popping.
Stop.
They
Yeah.
claim there's only been one Phil, and he's been alive since 1886.
Right.
That's what they say.
Oh, they lie.
Didn't that become like a big anti-war photo too?
Yeah,
Wes?
for sure. Big. It was a big, political, propaganda and all that kind of stuff. Photo. It was huge. Let's move on. Honorable mentions, guys. Tom Brady, the GOAT, has officially retired. The Pro Football Hall of Fame, where Brady will be eligible for induction in 2027, put out this tweet highlighting some of his incredible achievements. And there you have it. He is 15 times Pro Bowl selection, 3 times first team All Pro, 3 times NFL MVP, 7 times Super Bowl champion, 2 times AP Offensive Player of the Year, 5 times Super Bowl MVP, most passing touchdowns in NFL history with 624, most passing yards in NFL history with 84,520, most career wins, NFL All Decade Team. He's the best. Yeah, he's great.
Nobody. It's gonna be, if anybody ever does match it, we'll be like real old. But if they do,
Yeah. So congrats to Tom. Enjoy, fucking Giselle making out with your sons while you get massages. You spiral throwing weirdo. And here are some statements he made about his retirement.
Documentary called Tom versus Time. There's a scene showing 5-time Super Bowl winner Tom Brady getting a massage. Then his 11-year-old son comes in the room and asks him if he can check his fantasy football standings.
I was wondering if I could check my fantasy team.
What do I get?
I already know, Jack. Everything comes with a cost, but
That was like a peck.
The second kiss shared
no.
by father and son prompted tweets from viewers using words like very disturbing and uncomfortably long. So we asked New Yorkers what they thought.
I'm a little uncomfortable with that.
I think at a certain age, it's like, okay, you can kiss him on the cheek, you can give him a hug, but not in the mouth and not for that long.
Too long, like romantic long.
He's laying there naked getting a massage, too.
So that makes it weird?
Yeah.
I kiss my son on my lips. I have since day one. I would have no problem with my son kissing me like that.
Life
1 out of 10.
Yeah. I was gonna make some funny audio overlapping what Tom was saying, but what he actually said was just too good.
Yeah.
That
What
was
do
just
I
a peck.
get?
Yeah, come here.
What do I get?
Yeah.
That's the best. and he knows what he wants. That's a kiss.
Yeah. Come give your daddy some tongue.
That's like what you say to like a stripper.
That was just a peck. That was the
I like
best.
it.
Oh. Well, you saw at the end, you see Tom's lips
Sugar baby.
raised because there's suction there. Like,
Oh,
it's
Oh,
bad.
man.
But yeah, you got to roast the great ones, right? We tease the ones we love, making fun of how you, open mouth kiss your sons is the sincere.
He's a
form of
loving
flattery.
man.
Is the saying, right?
I don't think he's done.
Oh,
With football?
I think.
you think he's
what's gonna
farming it?
happen? No, yeah, well, yes, but I think in his mind he's done right now, and I think what's going to happen is like the Bucs starting quarterback's going to get injured like week 8 at 4-4, and they're going to come calling. I don't think he's done. I think he'll play football next year.
I agree. He's
Someone's
got
gonna
too
call.
much control of the universe for it to not happen.
He's going to go to a team that's in really good shape playoff wise and just needs him. Might be the Bucs again, but I don't think he's done.
But at quarterback, wouldn't that be kind of hard to just insert yourself at the end of the?
You're not when you're Tom
Not
Brady.
the end of the year, more like 2/3 of the way through the year, and he already knows like every playbook.
Yeah.
I think he's coming back.
We'll see.
I don't know. I think he might be mouth kissing his son for good, and just riding off.
That's possible.
I mean, because think about the way it ended, right? Like he beat Belichick in New England, which I don't know if you guys noticed, but in his announcement, he put that as the picture in his announcement. And then I don't know, the way he ended it, he came back like from like a 20-point deficit and lost because he got of shit luck, basically. Like he was the passing champ. He was like clearly the best quarterback over the course of the season in the NFL. I think that he likes
I think he
that.
could win another Super Bowl.
Right, but I think that he likes that, like going out feeling like, he was at the top of his game. He could because people will still now wonder like he could have done more. So, and it's still impressive what he's done. People aren't going to match it.
He'll wonder to name one greatest of all time that didn't come back in any sport.
Yeah,
Jordan
it's hard.
came back. Ali came back. They all come back. I'm sure Gretzky came back. Like they all come back after a first retirement. No greatest of all time ever sits it out after their first retirement. I know he's a little bit older, but I think he'll be back because he's in great shape.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's true. Pliability. He's so just hydrated and ready to go.
Yeah.
So
one more mention, following up on Whoopi Goldberg's idiotic statement about the Holocaust was not about race. Ted Cruz says, not so fast, Whoopi. You ain't gonna steal the foot and mouth torch from me that fast. And now everyone is coming at him for some statements he made about the Biden's upcoming Supreme Court nomination. And here's what he had to say.
Yes, although I think more broadly than that, listen, Biden, the fact that he's willing to make a promise at the outset that it must be a black woman, I got to say that's offensive.
Right.
Black women are 6% of the U.S. population? He's saying to 94% of Americans, I don't give a damn about you. You are ineligible. And he's also saying it's actually an insult to black women. If he came and said, I'm going to put the best jurist on the court, and he looked at a number of people and he ended up nominating a black woman, he could credibly say, okay, I'm nominating the person who's most qualified. He's not even pretending to say that. He's saying, if you're a white guy, tough luck. If you're a white woman, tough luck. You don't qualify. If you're Merrick Garland, all right, how much does it suck to be Merrick Garland? He's literally got to sit here and be told at the outset he is ineligible.
You're out.
Because wrong skin pigment and wrong Y chromosome. And it's just it is an example how Democrats, and particularly the far left, everything is race, everything is that they will discriminate based on race. They will pigeonhole you. They don't care about the independent, the individual.
It is offensive if you're this woman who probably hasn't been selected yet, but this future black woman who's going to be the nominee. You are being told at the outset, you are a diversity hire. I'm not picking you for your merits. I'm picking you for your skin and for your sex.
Wow. And
I mean, the point about the messaging, like, he's got a point where it would be more powerful to just pick somebody and not having announced that it was going to be out of a smaller pool from the start. Like Biden's messaging is probably shitty on that. But for him to like set out to nominate an African American woman, I'm not sure if that's like racist, which is what he's trying to say, right?
They're a judge and they're going to have a unique perspective compared to every single person that's been on the bench for the whole history of our country. Ted Cruz. That's the idea behind it, Ted. That's the idea. There's qualified women and men of all races to be on the bench of the Supreme Court. Literally, it's a political hire for the most part. So to say like, hey, let's put someone who's going to have a completely different perspective.
I guess what people are saying is that if you said this about a white person, per se,
exactly,
that would obviously be considered very racist.
And the context of that is white people enslaved black people in this country. So like you got to bring the context.
Well, the context is a minority versus not a minority as well. So
I think if you want to, there should be there's 9 Supreme Court justices right now. There's one. Clarence Thomas is African American, right? There's one is Sotomayor. Is she Spanish at all, or
Latina?
She's Spanish at all, or anything? I mean, it's mainly old white guys. Like, there's a few women and stuff, like white women. Like, there should be, if there's 9 Supreme Court justices, there should be some diversity there. It should. That's just the bottom line. Now, the way Biden's going about saying it, is it going to ruffle some feathers? Of course, but there should be some representation from different, genders, different races, because that's America. There's populations of these people, and why wouldn't there be a representation for Supreme Court justice? It doesn't make any sense. And like you said, Pat, there's tons of people that are qualified to do it in all races and sexes. So yeah,
sure,
I'm for it.
Just as always. He's like fumbling his way through it and making it a political liability somehow, and it should be just a victory.
The big thing is I don't know.
Just done it.
He just sucks at his job as usual.
Does Cruz know what he's doing? Somehow turning that into being racist,
well, Cruz is just campaigning.
Or is he like really that fucking
Cruz is finding something Joe did that you can make an argument out of, and
I think he genuinely just thinks that the best, the highest qualified person should be it, and he's not saying that if that is a black woman that they shouldn't be in it. But I think that's his main point: is that the highest qualified. I mean, that's
it just doesn't apply to this situation. That's my thing. It's like it's not like the highest qualified person has been selected at any time. Probably
there are so many qualified people. It's hard to determine who the most qualified person. You can just pick amongst a pool of very qualified people,
right?
Sure,
right.
And if it happens to be a black woman, great. But the way he is doing it is that's what's wrestling everyone up.
No, I'm saying I think that there should be 9 different kind of. Maybe since there's more, white people or whatever, maybe a couple of white guys, but there should be an Asian guy or gal. There should be a Spanish person, because there's huge. That's just the way it should be because of how America is. You need the perspective.
Different perspectives.
Yeah, you need the different perspectives in there.
Sure.
Anyway, Michael Knowles, he's one of those face toucher dudes. One of the guys from the Daily Wire. They all have the same bio photo where they're touching their face, except for Shapiro. He's not touching his face, and I guarantee that was a directive from the top. Shapiro
that
says,
guy was hilarious.
You touch your face, I don't touch my face.
That guy is really the shrimp who's just agreeing with everything.
Oh my God,
says.
bro! It's all the same show over there.
But also, I thought it was hilarious how didn't Ted Cruz submit Candace Owens as the female African American he thinks should be put on?
Oh, she's the worst, bro. She's the worst person on the planet.
That's a funny nomination for Cruz to toss out.
Was she ever a lawyer? No, right?
But she's not in the face.
Married to a British guy. Does that make her
touch
legal?
her face? That's racism. Why didn't Candace Owens have to touch her face in her bio photo for the Daily Wire?
It was a hilarious toss out. I mean, Cruz is just being Cruz. Cruz is like a freshman level Trump. He's just always trying to trend jack and get.
Yeah, he inserted himself, kind of like what Andrew Yang does too, right?
He loves inserting himself.
Yeah. He found this trend. And he just jumped in for really no reason. There's
he's stirring the pot. This is Cruz.
He could be the worst human on the planet. Cruz is the worst. He's the fucking worst, bro. He's the worst.
I mean,
he made his money helping privatize prisons. I think he's a big privatized prison.
Oh man, he's just go watch his. See if you can find his
Cash for Kids, right?
Cash for Kids. His Super PAC video with Nestor. Is it Nestor or what? No, that's Matt Gates' fake son.
I know who you're talking about though. His cousin, his nephew, had to sit down on a couch with him and say to camera while sitting next to him why he should be president.
Tito Ted.
Yeah. He was so nice to me growing up. I don't know. I'm more on. I don't really care about Ted Cruz's idiocy there. I'm more upset with Greg Abbott, who just said today that we're gonna have rolling blackouts in Austin and Texas after he promised there would be none for the weather. So
he can predict that the wind farms are gonna fail.
Shouldn't have let it get cold, Mark.
He's blaming it on the gas companies this time, Pat.
Oh, shouldn't have let it get cold. You can't let it get too hot or too cold.
That's right.
In Texas.
Let's move on though, guys. No matter what Ted Cruz says. Number 2. Top trends. Let's stay in Texas, Ted Cruz's home state, where a phrase that doesn't sound shocking but is all federal prisons are on lockdown. Yeah, thought that was kind of the point of prison, to be locked down,
right?
Good.
Yeah, great, doing their job. So what happened to spur?
It's actually like a term people use for prison. Lockdown.
Oh yeah. You ever watch 60 Days In? Lockdown.
Yeah.
So what happened to spur the nationwide lockdown? Well, you guessed it. Violence, murder, gangs. 2 inmates were killed at federal prison in Beaumont,
race-related
Texas.
gang things.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what happens in prison. It's all about the race-related gangs.
That's Ted Cruz's district too, Beaumont.
There you go. There it is. So a fight involving MS-13 gang, aka Mara.
Isn't Ted Cruz a senator?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but he's from.
You don't
Houston.
have a district.
It's a left and a right of the state.
Whole state.
It's close. It's close to Houston. So I'm just
they're
saying.
all his district. Well,
Yeah.
Did he start as a representative?
Who cares? It's his district. What were we saying, Wes?
MS-13 was involved in this, aka Mara Salvatrucha, the international criminal gang, originating in Los Angeles from Salvadorans. Let me tell you, I've never pissed off a Mexican coworker more than when I was humping drywall one summer and I asked my boy Valentin if he was part of MS-13. That was one angry Mexican. Let me tell you.
Not something you want to ask.
No, it was very racist.
Yeah.
Very,
if the answer was yes, he would have fucked you up.
I stirred him up a little too much that day. From I like to stir up Valentin, but that was too far.
Wes, you should on the next half pack with Wes, can you please include all of the highlights from your drywall days?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You should have called him MS Valentin.
Yeah, MS Valentin. No. I know, fucking piece of shit. That's what he said to me. From CBS, on Monday, the Bureau of Prisons said officers at the Texas prison observed multiple inmates fighting and responded to secure the area. 2 inmates, Andrew Pineda, 34, and Guillermo Riojas, 54, were pronounced dead at a local hospital. 2 more were sent that were seriously injured. So the Justice Department announced that they would be locking everything down. Apparently, the Justice Department is just a shit show. Early in January, the agency's director, Michael Carajal, which is this guy, he resigned because there's just corruption and just misconduct and other shit going down in the agency. Several inmates have escaped from this particular complex in Beaumont in recent years, and it's just a bad situation in federal prisons. There's 122.
Merrick Garland's job really does suck, like Ted Cruz was saying, because he's the attorney general. He's over the DOJ.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the inmates run these prisons. I mean, if you watch 60 Days In, you know that they run the jails. They definitely run the prisons. There's 122 federal prisons. This one at Beaumont houses 1,400 people. So yeah, it's a mess. So everything is locked down because they are fearing retaliation. That's what happens. Word gets around. You killed my boys. Now I got to kill some of your boys. Now you got to kill me back. Now you got to do this and that. It's just
we're locked down.
Yeah, lockdown.
Oh yeah, I'm sure MS-13 and the other gangs are just going to forget about it during lockdown for a week.
Right.
Yeah. They'll totally get over it.
They'll cool off, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been known to just relax.
Yeah.
I'll
just cool off over there.
Yeah,
MS-13.
that'll cool them down. ISO.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the top trend of the day.
Real quick.
Yeah.
The MS-13 was near and dear to our hearts. They were in our neighborhood and they were chopping when we were living in Charlottesville, Virginia 10 years ago. 12 years ago.
They were big
on our
in
bike, on our
schools.
local bike pass. They were like cutting people's hands.
Yeah,
and
Herndon,
heads
Virginia
off.
is like a MS-13 hotbed where we're from.
It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We knew not to mess with them. All
They're
right,
scary.
go ahead.
They are very scary. Okay. Top trend of the day or
the cream of the crop.
Lots of you sent this to us, so thank you. And luckily, it gives us the opportunity to bring up a fan favorite story from Mark and Will. which we'll get into later. I'm, of course, talking about the brawl at the Golden Corral in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. And here is the local news story, which actually has a very good insight because they spoke with to who I think is the man that might have started this whole thing. So here it is.
Law enforcement authorities continue to investigate an all-out brawl in Bensalem, Bucks County. They call themselves America's #1 buffet, the Golden Corral. But Friday night, it seemed like America's #1 free-for-all. More than 36 people were throwing fists and even throwing some chairs. Action News reporter Walter Perez is live outside the Golden Corral on the 1400 block of Street Road in Bensalem. Walter, what is the latest on all of this?
Well, Jim, we just did a Zoom interview with someone involved in that fight. Now, there's always two sides to a story, sometimes three, but Alexis Rios did give us really good insight into exactly what happened. Action News spoke with one of the people at the center of this melee that erupted inside the Golden Corral in Bensalem this past Friday afternoon.
And tables.
Alexis Rios says it started over a misunderstanding regarding a piece of steak. Rios says the person in front of him became angry with the cook because Rios received his steak first.
He's trying to understand what you want. He's trying to give you what you want. I had a rare steak, which is a lot faster to cook than a well-done steak. That's why I got my steak first.
And Rios thinks part of the reason things escalated so quickly is because everyone was wearing masks. And he believes the people involved had a hard time understanding what the others were saying.
With COVID right now, mask and everything, nobody can hear nobody sometimes. There's a lot of commotion there. The cooks behind there are talking. Nobody can hear nobody. You have to speak up loud.
Next thing you know, he says, that misunderstanding erupted into an all-out brawl.
I grabbed the chair to defend myself, and then sooner or later, that was it. Punches were getting thrown, chairs were getting thrown. You name it, you can call it cups, glasses, everything. You name it.
Officials from this Golden Corral franchise released a statement regarding the melee, reading in part, we notified the local authorities and they are investigating the incident. Thankfully, no serious injuries have been reported. The safety of our guests and our coworkers is our top priority. And Rios admits he is amazed everyone walked away relatively unscathed.
Nobody was on the ground. Nobody got hurt. I got a bruise on my nose. My brother got a black eye. My brother got a lifted nail, and that was it.
Now the investigation.
So there you go. That's the guy that started it all.
So is he facing charges or he's just doing press?
I think he's trying to clear up his side of the story.
Let him go. Come on.
I mean, dude, this is
Getting
so
ahead of
weird. So we talk about this a lot. Like when you see something happen in the news, right? Like we try to reach out to these people a lot of times, especially with stories like this. But like 99.99% of the time, you can't get them to talk to you because their lawyers tell them not to. But this guy he's a different breed.
I don't know if he's
contacted
representation yet.
He's pro se.
He's contacted TV stations. Luckily,
A lawyer is going to contact him after watching that. So.
You say you picked up a chair.
Yeah.
Wes,
you said you took the steak in front of the other guy.
He was like a commentator on his own highlight reel. Is what it
well,
was.
If that was a legit description, I think they should just let him go. And Wes, I'm glad that you found that because I was reading some fake news on some other news outlets that were saying it was because the Golden Corral had run out of steak.
Right. Yes.
So
no, it was.
That's a different story.
I think maybe people were. Yeah, it was line cutting. People were worried maybe that steak would run out, but this guy it was a disagreement because he thought he cut in line, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, how could you?" A lot of the comments were either very racist, hateful comments, or "How could you order a steak at Golden Corral, let alone rare steak?" And let me tell you, Golden Corral's delicious.
Yeah, most steaks are being ordered rare at Golden Corral. That's for sure.
I mean, that's probably the only way to order it at Golden Corral.
Yeah, he's talking about prime rib, right? Because like
put it on the plate. Don't even put it on the
I think they have sirloins there that they cook individually. I'm not sure. It's been a while.
So recap me for what happened.
Sounds like you can get a steak to order there.
The guy got there was a you're waiting in line at a restaurant and you see a couple go in before you you got there before them. That pisses you off, right? That's what happened with the steak. The guy was
like the omelet. It's like the omelet. Do omelets, Pat. You order an omelet. You someone behind you and I order the same.
You didn't
omelet.
follow that,
and then I get my omelet first and I walk away smiling and you go, "Hey, I ordered my omelet first." I'm like, tough titties.
Right.
That's all. It's all. It was just one guy got his thing first.
Mm-hmm. And then he says the masks muffled what might have been said. Someone should have
Which
said,
is he was saying,
I'm very sorry, sir. When really they heard, you know,
He
fuck
didn't
off.
see me mouth "fuck you" to his face.
Yeah. My
If he'd
apologies.
seen that though, probably wouldn't have fucking popped off like that.
Exactly. That guy's so full of shit.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, you know, I'm sure some charges once they check the footage will be handed down. But everyone's in a mask, so I don't know. So,
I'll let that guy go.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
No one
pretty
got
crazy.
hurt.
No one got hurt. It's a couple black guys. So that's a cup of coffee in the big time.
Yeah. Thank you, Wes.
Do you guys want to? I don't know. I didn't really segue into your shit story at Golden Corral, but save it.
Oh, well, Mark, do you want to tell it now, or do you want to? I know we're going to tell it on Friday for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just tell it on Friday then.
Okay.
I know we're gonna. I know somebody's already requested it as a 5-star.
Okay, we'll tell it on Friday then. Okay,
cool.
So stay tuned. Mark and I have one of the funniest stories of all time ever. Probably one of my funniest personal stories ever from a Golden Corral.
Thank God for locks. You know?
So that'll be on Friday's episode. Yeah, for locks.
Yeah, for locks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a newfound respect for him after an experience like that. All right, let's move on. It is Groundhog singular day. Groundhog Day. But I'm thinking I'm calling it Groundhog's Day because there's a lot of different groundhogs out there that you can get your weather from today. No matter which groundhog you're turning to this morning to get your weather, whether it's the original Punxsutawney Phil himself, as Wes reported, only 39% accurate. I had seen as low as 35. So he's got a lot of pomp. You know, he's got all the handlers. He's got the luscious mane, but he sucks at predicting the weather. Or if you're going to his much uglier but much smarter cousin, New York City's Staten Island Chuck. He's in the Staten Island Zoo. He's also known as Charles G. Hogg, and he's 80% accurate. So big step up.
Damn.
80.
Yeah, 80%.
How come he's not the famous one? That's bullshit.
Just a little further north, and he's a lot better at picking weather. But yeah,
what does the guy got to do?
Yeah, New York City's getting accurate picks. Or Balzac Billy of Alberta, Canada, who's not an actual gopher, but a man standing on a pile of dirt in a squirrel outfit.
Oh no,
he looks like the Buckies.
He does.
Yeah, he is like Buckies. He's like the Texas Buckies, except he's Canadian version. He picks theirs, and he's actually 83.6% accurate. So
Damn.
Balzac Billy, really strong. Or if you're going to one of the fringe hogs,
But he's a man, Will.
That's a big advantage, Mark.
He's a human man.
He's reading charts.
That's a good point. More on that later.
All right. Okay.
Or if you're going to some of the fringe hogs, like Sir Walter Willie here of North Carolina, 55% accurate.
He's cute.
Buckeye Chuck of Marion,
yeah.
Ohio. I didn't really get Buckeye
good
Chuck's numbers. Or also Fufu the Hedgehog of Portland, Oregon.
Disqualified.
Those are, well, it's a hog, Wes, still, technically. Groundhog, hedgehog.
Hedge.
Listen, you can't.
Yeah, nobody went with a full hog, which I was surprised. But
Yeah.
still, those are your options. And while all those will be great on their 5-minute Facebook live stream, that's happening way too early in the morning this morning. It's already happened. If you're listening to this, it's already happened. I mean, we're taping this before it happened, but it's already happened. Phil goes live at 6 a.m. Eastern, so nobody's catching it. All right. But
Let me tell you, bucket list for me in my life is to go to Punxsutawney for Groundhog Day one time. I want to go to Groundhog Day so bad.
You know everybody's hammered because they don't care about the picks.
They start at 7 a.m. It sounds like. It's like
I probably should have gone a couple years ago.
You should have done it a couple years ago. It's like a Saturday morning watching EPL at the pubs. Like
you
go
start
out-
the night before.
Yeah.
I think
right.
with the 6 a.m. reading, you start at midnight and you're just toasted by the time Phil's looking at the shadow. But sadly, guys, none of those hogs that you can get your weather from today, none of them will be Miltown Mel. Pat, sadly, of Miltown, New Jersey, your home state.
I don't even know where that is.
Miltown Mel right there. Because sadly, you can't see Mel this year because sadly Mel passed away recently. And his death was announced on Sunday via Facebook, just in time to let people know they couldn't see Miltown Mel this year. Here's what they said.
They couldn't cover this up.
Just get a new Mel. There's
no, little too honest up there.
2 days before Groundhog's Day.
Yep. Here's what they announced on Facebook on January 30th at 5:17 p.m. when they knew they had to say something. Miltown Mel is feeling heartbroken. We Wranglers are sad to report that Miltown Mel recently crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. Considering the average lifespan of a groundhog is about 3 years, that's not such a shock. But Mel left us at a tough time of year when most of his fellow groundhogs are hibernating.
Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, 3 days before Groundhog's Day. So no babies will be available to replace him until this spring. We tried everywhere to get a stand-in, but to no avail. On top of that, the county is not currently renting out the big showmobile stage due to the pandemic. So we would not have that issue as well. We would work hard on getting us a new weather prognosticator for next year. Till then, please check out all of Mel's cousins that we just went over, had to say on February 2nd. So
now, this is the sound they got after he hit send on that one.
How long has that groundhog been dead, though? Like,
no stage.
They were covering this up for months, probably, or like weeks.
He spent hours reading that.
Yeah. So
it's true though. I mean, like, this is to get another fucking snowstorm, right? So this is. I mean, Mel died because there's so much winter left. I mean, it's worse than seeing the shadow. He croaked. You're gonna have a ton of winter.
You are. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Mel was just too cold inside of his hole. So sadly, you won't see Miltown Mel this year. But if doing this story has taught me anything, it's that it's that
that's a
more
great telltale sign of more winter. The
he
groundhog
froze to
just
death.
freezes.
The winter's so harsh it killed one of the groundhogs.
We're gonna count it as seeing a shadow.
Probably pretty cold. Seems like it's been a tough one. But if doing this story's taught me anything, it's that you just want to go with whatever Balzac Billy says, anyways, because Punxsutawney Phil is a fraud with a low accuracy rate, and Balzac Billy, as Mark pointed out, is a human with access to the internet and not an idiot groundhog who's going to be less accurate at predicting the weather. So go with Balzac Billy.
They should be ashamed of themselves. Really.
That's a good tip, because if you had to pick a groundhog and you didn't know that Balzac Billy is a human, you'd be in trouble, because you'd probably pick a groundhog.
Right. You would assume, though, that Balzac Billy, but no, he's just a human who stands on a mound.
Thank you.
They literally pile up the dirt in the fucking parking lot for this fucking. He walks out there.
Oh man.
It's Groundhog's Day for you.
Thank you. All right, let's take a trip or three.
It's time for the TikTok International Moment.
I'll give you an option. Do you want to start with the darkest one and then the nicest one, or do you want to start with the nicest one and then the darkest one?
I vote light to dark, personally.
Okay. 1-1.
Pat,
yeah, same
tiebreaker.
Light to dark.
Light to dark. Light to dark.
Light to dark.
Take me to hell.
You dogs.
Take me to hell.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. This one's a little less dark than the others. As we know, the polar bears habitats are rapidly disappearing, and as a result, the species is rapidly decreasing, putting them at a current status of vulnerable, approaching endangered. Vulnerable, by definition, means the species is at a high risk of extinction. But if you can put all that aside, this story is not that bad. It's pretty cute. So put all that aside, and we'll start from polar bears. Going to be a cute story here. Since they do have to find new places to live with all the ice melting, polar bears are moving into Russian towns, like we've discussed many times in the show before. And one of those towns is the long deserted island of Kolyuchkin in the Chukotka Autonomous Okrug of the Russian Federation. It's way the fuck out there, right? And Kolyuchkin used to serve as a weather station, a polar weather station that operated during the Soviet Union, and was an inhabited small little village town because they had to have people reporting the weather. So they built little huts and houses for these weather experts. And it was just a small little town on this island where they reported the weather to the Soviets up until 1992. And now it's polar bear. I do mean living in the village. Take a look at this. Some of these images. See there's polar bears.
Oh, damn. They actually moved into the houses.
Wow.
Fucking
these are incredible photos.
They're really good.
So these polar bears are also cool with photographers because there was one within like an inch.
He used a
of that
drone.
one.
He used a drone.
Dude. It's like,
nice.
How bad do you guys, with the exception of Will, feel that we can't even own a house and these fucking polar bears have property?
But
these polar bears are house cucking you guys. Yeah,
they are. Look, there's at least 5 to 6 polar bears in this one house. There's no electricity. It's like going to be Austin next week.
They don't need that.
It's true. So yeah, the photographer.
These polar bears don't even have wallets.
No,
They've
they
got
don't.
houses.
Yeah, that is a shame for us. According to the photographer who got the photos, like on a drone, like you said, because it was too dangerous to go on Polar Bear Island. He wrote the article about it as well, and he said that he was there and around the area for multiple days, and he said the polar bears constantly chill and sleep in the houses. It wasn't like for show. Like his drone was like trying to like not fuck with their daily routine, which is live in the house and then leave the house to go get food and then go back and sleep in the house, which is pretty
Maybe
awesome.
kill a drone. Yeah,
That's awesome.
You got to have a couple backup drones if you're flying that close to the polar.
I thought
bears.
those photos were photoshopped. To be honest with
No.
you, they were so good.
Yeah,
It's so cool. I mean, imagine like rolling up on a town, a deserted ghost town, and it's just polar bears living in the house. So Russian's top polar bear expert, Anatoly Kochnev, was asked what causes the animal's behavior to live in the homes. And he said, there are several possible explanations, but most likely is witch turn men into bear.
Yeah.
So what are they doing in the houses? I'm just kidding. The bears killed and ate the humans and assimilated their lives.
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
I don't know. Maybe.
They also said, "Hey, wouldn't you want a house instead of not a house?"
Yeah.
Yes.
The bear's not an idiot.
Yeah,
Like-
it turns out polar bears aren't stupid, I guess.
What if they're shitting in there? If they're not shitting in the house, they're very intelligent. If they are shitting in the house, then they're morons.
Yeah, that would be
They shit in their own.
What if it's one that keeps ruining it?
Yeah.
So
Take
that
it
was the last
outside.
one. All right, next up, let's head to Switzerland, where they are totally neutral, except for when it comes to the age of retirement. In Switzerland, the age of retirement is 65 for men and 64 for women to get all those government bennies, all those state bennies,
Like
benefits.
they force you to, or you
Damn.
can.
You can get state benefits at 64 if you're a female, 65 if you're a male. Pretty stupid, right? Especially since as of January 1st, 2022, you can officially change your gender with the state if you declare, quote, intimate conviction that you do not belong to the sex you're registered to. And that means you just say, I don't belong to the sex I'm registered to. And then you pay $75 and you can have your thing switched as of January 1st. And those two facts led some in Switzerland to warn that people might start taking advantage of the retirement discrepancy. And guess what happened on January 5th, 4 days after the new law was in place?
Lots of new ladies.
A man went to the courthouse, paid $75, made a pinky promise that he was a female, and retired at the age of 64 and started getting benefits.
There you go.
What?
1 year early.
Yeah.
Because they
They
give
have to
because in
change his name?
Switzerland they give women a 1 year early retirement. So
Dude, no
Really
one
taking
respects
advantage.
relaxing more than that guy. Like,
Yeah.
or gal, excuse me. That person, they like to, I thought I like to relax. No.
I mean, it's a full year. Dude, you're ready to retire. I mean,
yeah, if you're waiting for retirement, like okay, so
this
especially
is what this lady was looking for.
right. If you're counting down
Loophole.
the days and you're so ready to retire, yeah, this is the best news of all time.
Now others are warning that there's nothing stopping a male from applying for a gender change at the age of 17 to avoid military conscription, and that changing back at the age of 30 while spending a whopping total of 150 francs, which is about a buck a franc, to avoid the male mandatory military conscription in Switzerland. I'm not sure what they do since they're neutral, but I guess they train a whole lot. And so like, they're like
So
now
you
people
just
are gonna
don't want to go to
draft
boot camp.
dodge. Yeah. So not great. Transgender activists are not happy, obviously. They're calling this scenario, the early retirement scenario and the military dodging scenario, like unrealistic, saying
What?
it's very hard to come out. You have to come out to your family and friends, and it's a big deal, which it is, obviously, for real transgender people, but they're not realizing they did admit that, yes, I guess some people might take advantage of the system, but that it's still going to be difficult for them to do. And
They're discriminating against these people.
they're just saying like for people that are actually coming out as transgender, they have to.
I understand.
They have to tell people, and it's a big deal. And they're not getting that this lady who retired at 64 who
gave us
doesn't
the thing
give
we
a
wanted,
fuck,
but now
doesn't give a flying fuck what you call her because they just wanted their benefits and to sit in their house early. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it,
so?
I mean, if it's like just starting a cycle of estrogen, right? Like that's not. But if it's like a full on.
No, you don't have to prove anything, Pat. You have to say that you have to say with total conviction.
Oh, okay.
No medical,
I thought it was okay. I thought it was
no nothing medical whatsoever. You just go to the courthouse and you say, I am this gender. I was born this gender, but I to my core I believe I'm this gender. That's it. And then you sign a piece of paper and you can get the benefits. Then this lady could switch back to a guy next year and continue to get benefits when she's 65.
Well, then everyone should do this.
That's what they're going to
say. They will, Wes. That's what Switzerland's freaking out
problem.
about.
That's the problem going on in Switzerland.
There's a line to do this.
The person that did this doesn't have to like dress up like a woman. Like it's done.
Yeah.
The paperwork's done.
He rolled in like his Tommy Bahama, and then
life goes on for
to
him.
go play golf as soon as he
Yes.
signed the paper.
Exactly. That's the problem. And it sucks because it's definitely hurting actual transgender people because it's a mockery, really. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. So that one's kind of medium level dark in my opinion. And let's move on to the last one. The first ever rape was reported in the metaverse by a UK woman. The first digital rape in the metaverse.
We saw this coming.
Do you agree this is the darkest of the three?
Yeah. I can't even wrap my head around that.
The predictability, though, Wes, I agree. I mean, like, look, Mark, you just yesterday were talking about how people abuse AI chatbot girlfriends.
I was verbally abusing an AI girlfriend.
Imagine the metaverse where everybody's
nice
just
guy.
a fake robot. Look, the first thing you do, I can tell you from experience, having played metaverse games, the first thing you do when you go into a new game is you go and like fuck with the other people because it like their little headset buzzes or whatever, their hands buzz, and you're like, I'm hitting you.
Right.
And so of course this is gonna happen. And it's going to get dark immediately, and I guess it did.
By the way, why didn't you guys correct me when I kept saying replica instead of replica? I was like, that's not.
Oh, because you said it was with a K.
I thought you'd like listen.
Maybe I had inside information or something.
Yeah, I
think you were you were unsure, so I thought
I was
that
unsure.
kind of cleared it up. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's probably replica. Anyways, I think it's probably replica. Looking back on it, the woman who was she's vice president of a metaverse research for technology company, Kabuni Ventures.
Ooh.
She reported that not great, right? Because she's gonna have a bad report. Reported that her character was gang raped by a group of guys in the meta-designed game Horizon Worlds within the first 60 seconds of her character joining the game. So she logged in and was assaulted by 4 men who got on top of her and raped her character. Sounds like her review of the metaverse is going to be a negative one.
Right,
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a quick video of the game.
It's A/B, side, left, right, trigger. It's the gang rape code.
Yeah, it's the Konami. Horizon Worlds was released to the public after a year of beta testing on December 9th, 2021. And if you're over 18, you can get it on the Oculus Rift S or Oculus Quest 2.
Here we go.
Well, Horizon Worlds is out there.
I'm gonna have to hop in there. I'm gonna have to start beating down some fucking rapists.
Yeah,
there you go.
What if I just go on the streets and start just beating the shit out of dudes who are
it would make some good press. Yeah. It would make some good press.
All right. Well, hey, I'll get in there. I'll mix it up.
Yeah,
I've been boxing too.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on endurance mode and throw the fight. All right.
They're not
so
gonna,
if any of you
they're not gonna
rapists
like it.
out there, what game is this again, Mark?
Horizon Worlds. We're going to see a
Horizon
preview
Worlds
of it in a second.
rapists.
Yeah.
You're on notice. I'm coming
There you
in
go.
there with the boxing skills.
If you
It's
see
a full
barrel-chested gentleman in his mid-30s in the game with the word vigilante in his username, just know that's Will.
That's me.
That's Will.
You better not rape anybody in the metaverse in front of me. I will fuck you up.
Let's just go ahead and play the video of what Horizon Worlds looks like. This is a 1-minute trailer for Horizon Worlds.
Welcome to a place of limitless possibilities. A place where you can invent things, transform things, create entire worlds, forge new experiences, and work with others. Jetpacks! Here, you can find your community, fellow creators, and virtually hang out in perfect harmony.
Sometimes.
Going up. So, bring your vision, your artistry, your genius. Who built a cat boat?
Cat boat.
And together, we can build horizon.
Okay. So there you go. There you go. If you couldn't tell, it's like the graphics. So you create like an avatar, and you're like enter into a hub, a portal, and then you can either create your own wormhole in the portal, your own little world, join anyone's, and in some cases rape dens, I guess.
Yeah. That's bad. Also, Mark, question: they don't have lower bodies in the video that you showed. So, what? How? So they don't have.
That was the beta. That was the beta. That was the beta of it. Oh yeah, they have the lower bodies now.
Oh no, that was a mistake. They should have kept them low body less, the characters.
Yeah. So did they go into, like how graphic this is? It just a bunch of like avatars piling on top of a woman,
right?
Or
yeah.
are they?
So she described it. She said she had to sit by and watch her character get assaulted by 4 males while they took pictures. And sent her chat messages like, don't pretend like you don't love it. And maybe next time you won't pick a girl avatar while they were assaulting her character.
Whoa.
By the way, well, I got you. Are you a girl?
Yeah, which is true, because you could just, be a guy picking a girl avatar.
Happens all the time.
So yeah, I guess that's she immediately walked into a cesspool in her first attempt at playing the game as a female avatar. Not great. But what is good news is it looks like we could create Hive Island in there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sick.
For sure.
There's a no rape policy on Hive Island.
Oh, you would have to box me immediately.
You're out.
It would be.
Yeah. Everyone's safe. Except for maybe the whales. Wes and I might go whale hunting to protect.
What if you Dukes? Oh, if you kill a virtual whale, that's really gonna hurt.
If we know any people that are designers, can create 3D elements, and you're a member of the Hive, start working on a no rape sign element if you don't mind.
Please.
Yeah, that's the first sign we need, is that sign.
Yeah, because it's that, then the American flag that go up on the island.
Yes, 2 staples.
Yeah, you need both.
But no repercussions coming to these men. Yet they haven't established legal repercussions.
I don't think it's a crime, Wes.
Right.
It's abuse or harassment.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this. It's a bad warning.
Mark, how's that internet treating you over
it's
there?
Been shaky today.
Yeah.
Salt. I'm getting assaulted. I'm getting assaulted by the internet. I'll be back. But I'm done.
What?
I'm done my stories.
All right, guys. Here comes the caboose, the cleanup man. 4 spot. Power hitter. So this one's absolutely insane. Here we go. 2 men were pronounced guilty on numerous charges, including murder, in an Ohio courtroom yesterday. That's 24-year-old Michael Sanson, 26-year-old James Eccles. And they were, quote, disappointed with the jury's verdict. But you might disagree when I tell you how they ended up there on trial for murder. We're going to have to take it back to the summer of 2017.
Okay.
Where the main character in our story, Cheyenne Willis, 21-year-old, she was having the summer of her life. She was living in a rented house with her boyfriend. His name was, what, do I have it here? Yeah. His name was, I don't have it. Doesn't matter. She's living in a rented house with her boyfriend. She's in Colerain Township, Ohio. Never heard of that. She's working at Boost Mobile, right? Cell phone store just up the street from her house. She had lots of friends.
Nice selfie stick she had going.
Oh, big time. That's at the store, I think. She had lots of friends. She was living it up. Just her and her boyfriend Elijah Clemens. That's who it was. They were even trying to have a baby. So pretty sick little life for a 21-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that's the house they were living in. That's nice, right? A lot nicer.
Nice little starter home.
How we were living at 21.
Cheyenne and Elijah. Nice.
Yeah, but guys, the well-woven fabric of a young Ohio woman and a prepaid cell phone salesman living her best life began to slowly unravel when 26-year-old Roshan Bishop strolled through the doors of her Boost Mobile looking to re-up on his minutes, which, after all, he needed a lot of, considering his line of work. That's a picture of Roshan there.
Oh, what was he doing?
Oh, he went in and said, hey, I need more minutes for my Boost.
Not shaving. That's bad facial hair.
I got your minutes. You're going to find out why he wasn't able to shave. Now, guys, they say the only worse place to meet a potential love interest than a cell phone shop is a prison. And in Cheyenne Willis's case, that old adage turned out to be true to form. Cheyenne and Roshan, they started seeing each other under the nose of Cheyenne's boyfriend, who I mentioned before, and unbeknownst to Cheyenne, under the nose of Roshan's wife, who he was married to.
Oh, it's a double cross here. Okay.
She didn't know he was married. She knew she was in a relationship, though. And guys, it wasn't long before Roshan asked Cheyenne for a small loan in the amount of $10,000 to fund his burgeoning drug selling business.
Yeah, nothing.
It's a
for
pretty
the price
big
of
loan.
love.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty big loan.
If you love someone,
Cheyenne was happy to provide it. She loved him, and after all, she had the money. She was working at Boost Mobile.
10 G's from Boost Mobile. Wow, they're doing good.
Yeah, and Cheyenne did give one caveat, though, guys, and that's a caveat that she learned the hard way from a friend whose car that she had borrowed once, but we'll get back to that in a minute. The caveat that she gave Roshan was that he had to pay the money back in 30 days. So here's the 10K, but you got to give it back in a month, right?
Yeah, well,
sure, no problem.
Yeah, no problem. Month passed. It's time to pay up. But Roshan had kind of been dragging his feet. Cheyenne kept saying, hey, can you give me my money back? He said, I don't know. Dodging her, etc. And thing is, Roshan was fine paying Cheyenne back the $10,000, but according to Roshan's future court testimony, his, quote, business partner was the one that didn't want to repay her. And you know how partnerships are.
well,
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough, right? No tie break with a two-man partnership, guys. And it wasn't long after Cheyenne told Roshan that she was pregnant and it might be his. And now she really needed that $10,000 back.
Oh, shit. Okay.
that's a bluff.
It's a bluff. Well,
I think that's a bluff.
I don't know. Do you think it was a bluff? You think it was a
Pregnant.
bluff?
Wow, yeah, she's very pregnant.
Pretty pregnant there.
Okay, so Elijah, it's not her boyfriend's.
Elijah's in trouble. It could be her boyfriend's. He doesn't know. But
So
look,
she's saying she'll keep her mouth shut for 10 grand.
no, she's saying, hey, I loan you 10 grand. The month's up, dude. Give me the cash. Also, I'm pregnant. It could be yours. Could be Elijah's. I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to still treat the baby, with the biggest amount of love, most amount of love I can give it. And at that point, both Roshan and Cheyenne started making plans, but they weren't making these plans together. And these plans were very different from each other. Cheyenne, she began planning the gender reveal party. Damn, be the dad, still having a gender reveal. And Roshan, the married drug dealer in debt $10,000 to his potential new baby mama, began planning Cheyenne's murder.
Right.
Yeah. And
No loose ends. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's 10K.
Don't
gone.
pay back dead people.
Got to get her before the baby comes out too. It's got
That's
time
true.
on here.
Fair.
Yeah.
He also accepted the loan on the pretense of being a drug dealer.
Yes.
So she knows that this is one of their main methods of dealing with problems.
Yeah.
Is murder.
It's her
Right.
fault for sure.
Right. Now, yeah, and Cheyenne, she knew because Roshan made it pretty clear that he was borrowing the $10,000 to buy some more product. So.
Right. So there you go. Ipso facto.
He asked for another 10K loan, which he uses to kill her to hire her. I just need one more 10K loan to get out of this hole here.
Just one more, baby. Yeah, guys. Anyway, on a hot July 8th evening, this is back in 2017 again, as the night was winding down, the two men I told you about at the beginning of this story, they stormed through the back door of Cheyenne and Elijah's home on Caspian Drive and right into a gender reveal party that Cheyenne had planned. About 30 of Cheyenne's closest friends were there, and the two men started shooting everything. They were, quote, spraying bullets.
That's
not good. 5 children were on the floor watching a movie. There was a bunch of adults in there. They were watching Spider-Man. when the door opened without warning, and these men ended up firing 14 shots, hitting 9 people.
Jeez.
3 of the people that got hit were children. Also, to make matters worse, a dog was hit. And Cheyenne's cousin, Autumn Garrett, she was killed. She was killed, unfortunately. And the slug that Cheyenne...
How old is Autumn?
Autumn was maybe 26 at the time.
Man.
The slug that Cheyenne took to the leg was actually one of the more minor injuries, even though that she was the target. And the gunmen, who were donning hoodies as they walk in to cover, I guess, their face up, they fled. And naturally, the 21-year-old in her 3rd trimester grabbed her 9mm semi-automatic handgun, and she gave chase.
Whoa. What a badass.
One does. Now, Cheyenne wasn't able to stop the men. They got away. But when she returned to her living room, the aftermath of a tragedy had unfortunately just begun, because the next day Cheyenne told police that due to the stress of the shooting, Cheyenne had, in fact, lost the pregnancy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
The story sucks.
That's horrible.
I know, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
When
pretty
did this
bad.
happen? I feel
Now,
like this
guys,
is big in the news.
2017.
Before we continue, I think we need to rewind a couple years back to an incident that happened on Christmas Eve, 2015. So let's go back 2 years from 2017 and 2015. The day that Cheyenne learned how one should set and respect the terms of a loan. And the then 19-year-old Cheyenne she'd borrowed an Impala from another Cheyenne Fisher, so she could get, quote, back and forth from work. But after a month on loan, and despite repeated texts from one Cheyenne to another, our Cheyenne had not returned the Impala. And guys, that is when this happened.
And beaten, shaved, tied up, drawn on, robbed, then humiliated with the video posted to Facebook. Christmas Eve truly was a nightmare for Cheyenne Willis of Forest Park, Ohio. Her then boyfriend Quincy Gardner was driving Willis in a car loaned to Willis by Cheyenne Fisher. Gardner told Willis Willis was treated for a concussion and says she's been humiliated and traumatized by the incident. Gardner and Fisher have been charged with robbery for taking the victim's money and cell phone, but Forest Park police have posted wanted posters looking for more information, so additional charges are likely to follow. Leave a comment on the
So
that guy's annoying from the Tomo News.
I know, but hey, you see how Cheyenne learned the hard way about how to set the terms of a loan? It was exactly a month that she had the Impala not returned. And she she paid for it with I got my ass whooped written on her forehead and eyeliner. Anyway, back to 2017. Police were trying to solve the crime, especially because after Cheyenne had lost the baby, this was a double murder that they were investigating. But they were having a hard time because it seemed that no one wanted to cooperate with the investigation. Curiously, most specifically, Cheyenne. And turns out, guys, Cheyenne had good reason to be wishy-washy when it came to the questioning. Cheyenne was hiding a secret, and that's that she was never really pregnant at all. It was a fake gender reveal party. Yeah.
So I was right in the beginning.
You were right in the beginning. Yeah, that's why I put up the photos there.
You're trying to throw me off the trail.
Were those real photos of her pregnant, though? Or that wasn't Cheyenne?
No, that's photos of her pregnant. That's a stuffed belly.
Oh, wow. Okay. And Elijah was in on it then.
So
Elijah didn't know.
This was trying to get the money back.
Jeez, this guy's gullible.
Yeah, he thought she was pregnant.
She's going to the penitentiary to bang this dude, and she's like,
behind
I'm just
him
going,
with
hanging out with my
everybody.
friends. Yeah.
Well, look, he wasn't in the pen at the time. But look, let's walk this through.
Both guys
here.
in her life are gullible. Yeah.
Yes. Cheyenne starts.
She was dating somebody else besides Elijah. Also,
that's what I'm saying. The guy who she was dating.
Oh, the other guy.
Was he in on the fake pregnancy? Because
no, her 2015 boyfriend did set her up to get beat, though.
Yes.
Her 2017 boyfriend Elijah, he didn't know anything.
Probably why she can't trust guys anymore.
He thought he was going to be a dad. So this woman met her boyfriend, her second boyfriend, at the Boost Mobile she was working at, loaned him $10,000, tried to get the money back. He wouldn't pay. Faked a pregnancy to both Elijah, her real boyfriend, and her side piece. Had a fake gender reveal party that got shot up. And then told police that she lost the fucking pregnancy. She's like, "This is how convenient is this?" And then
Elijah was fucking her and didn't know that this belly was fake.
It's pretty easy to not fuck when you're pregnant. It's pretty easy. Like, honey,
Elijah sounds like an idiot, Wes. He sounds very trickable.
He's a moron if that's the case. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Or he was in on it.
Yeah. Sounds like.
Why would he be though?
To get the money back. to get the money.
It's her money, not Elijah's.
Right, but he's going to benefit.
You think Elijah had to
Listen,
buy a lot?
everything that Cheyenne has is the boyfriends.
He just went
Whoever
along
she's
with
dating,
whatever
she has, they get. That's how Cheyenne operates.
You think?
Yeah, the side
Yeah,
piece.
absolutely.
She gives everything to the side piece.
No, these guys just take advantage of her because she's an idiot too.
Look, Cheyenne's a piece of shit. Clearly,
No one in that
evidence.
story is good.
Look, you don't get your ass beat and written, I got my ass beat on your forehead unless you're a piece of shit. And I put up a photo there from the local news covering the story. It says, attackers are still bragging about the incident that they posted to Facebook. Anyway, that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Thank you, guys. That was crazy, right? That's a fucking insane story, right?
That's insane. Cheyenne and the guy who hired the hit and his two buddies who executed her cousin and shot up the house all should go to jail for a very long time.
Yeah, well, there's 3 men that are going to jail for a long time. The 2 men I mentioned, Rashawn's cousin who connected Rashawn with the 2 men. You know who's not in jail for murder right now? Rashawn.
Oh, Rashawn.
Yeah, he's in jail for drug trafficking, but it might not go down for murder.
Crazy.
But he ordered the hits.
I know. He's evidence, I guess.
Interesting. Wow. Y'all ready to spin that wheel?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No one snitches on Rashawn.
Cup of coffee in the big time tomorrow. Oh, it looks like Wes is pulling back to backs.
Back to back.
All right.
Back to back Wes.
It's on me.
TikTok international moment will be
Repeat show.
Mark. Whoa, back to back. Run it back. And
run it back.
That's it.
So nice we do it twice.
That's it. Yeah.
That's
I
it.
enjoyed today's.
Yeah.
I thought.
Me too. Make sure to get those McDonald's submissions in. We want to see them. And go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to gamble on politics.
40
$40.
Up to 40 bucks.
/40, hard factor 40. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pat, you want to take us out or you do some dead air?
You have a great fucking day.
Patreon.com/hardfactor.